Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to episode 33. On today's episode, we're gonna giving our post-match reaction to the Valencia game. It was a very important game, and luckily we won the game. Let me introduce my co-host Alex.
Hey guys, what's up?
So Alex, today it was a much needed 3 points. We got the win. I don't think it was a brilliant performance from Barcelona. I thought we dominated, but there are things that we need to improve on. But what are your quick thoughts on the overall game?
Well, it's the first game after a rough week. Well, not the first game, but it's one of the first games after a rough week. And considering this, you know, it wasn't easy, and we had to go in there with full confidence. We had to go there with the determination to win because these are the games that matter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially that we're so close to the first place, which is Madrid. But no, I thought overall it was an average performance, if not slightly mediocre. We didn't see a lot from anyone in particular.
Hmm.
Um, I thought today Ferran wasn't great. He did miss a very clear chance in the 80 something minute.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was like
uh,
it was basically just like it was a pass
that's
from
happened.
yeah, but it was basically like a tap in, and like he
Yeah, I,
basically
I I understand there was a little bit of difficulty to it because there was a bouncing pass, but still, at that
yeah.
level, he should be putting that
Yeah,
away.
he scuffed it. Like he hit it and then like it hit his like other leg, and then like the rebound from the Lewandowski and Rafinha, and they weren't able to finish it. But as you said, I completely agree. I thought it was a mediocre performance.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was great.
No, I don't think neither team was great. I thought we dominated.
Neither Lewandowski. Yeah, I mean Lewandowski won us the game, but before that, I didn't think he did a lot.
No, exactly, but that's exactly why we signed him.
Hmm.
This is why we paid Bayern for the big bucks. Is because when you think about last year, these are the type of games that we would have lost without Lewandowski, and
What I mean, we had Luke the goat.
exactly we had Luke to go. So having Lewandowski basically wins you these games, and these are the games that basically like matter at the end of the season. What
Of
matters is
course,
the 3 points. We're going into tomorrow with with the 3 points, and that's like great for us just to put on pressure on Real Madrid to keep on going.
for sure. And another thing worth considering is today we saw my opinion. Going back to player performances, I thought Rafinha had a decent game today. Um,
He
I
came on
know.
for Dembele, I believe, in the second half.
Yeah, Dembele wasn't great, which is a little upsetting because I thought he had a good start to the season. And this is the thing, bro. Dembele's problem is his inconsistency. If he were to give consistent performances, I would, in no doubt, claim that he's the best right winger in the world. I mean, I'm obviously not including Messi in that category because he essentially plays cam nowadays. But
Yeah, he's like a number 10. He's like a floating 10.
right, so as a pure 11, someone who gets the ball, crosses, or scores, when he's on his good day, I can't think of anyone better than Dembele. Just because of how technical he can be and how physically tough he can be. He's not a big guy. He's not someone
No,
that can muscle you, but he
no,
is so quick.
he's so quick, and on the 1v1s, if his decision making is like on point, he will absolutely destroy you just because he's lightning quick. Yeah, he has a good ability on both feet, and he's just going to make it impossible for basically anyone else to defend. He's a world class player on this day, but that's the thing. We need to see more consistency from him. And another player who started was Ansu Fati. I thought Ansu Fati generally was like off the pace today. I thought his finishing wasn't on par. But I and then this is a player who was calling for minutes. I don't think today anything like he demonstrated anything that shows Xavi that he should be starting. But I think we should have patience with him. I
Yeah,
believe
of course.
he's
He's been out for a long time, and it's not easy.
but also we have to think Ansu Fati is in a rush because the World Cup starts in about a month, and he needs to basically like be playing if he wants to get called up for the World Cup squad. What were your thoughts on Ansu Fati's performance today?
Yeah. As you said, I thought it was a little underwhelming. Didn't really get the type of a performance I would have liked from him, especially because of how talented he is and how technical he can be. There was a shot in particular that he took on the it was either the center back or the right back, and he running toward the goal, he completely missed the target. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah.
yeah,
It was in the first half. He was basically
left
running,
footed shot.
yeah, a left-footed shot, and like he didn't put the shot on target. I believe that basically summarizes Ansu Fati's situation right now. I don't think he's sharp. I don't think he's like
No,
up to.
no, for sure. I mean, it's good. He's definitely healthy, and he's back to good health. You know, he's obviously not
Yeah,
suffering from.
he's healthy. Yes, healthy. I don't think he's recovered that like extreme pace that we saw from like at the very start. But that's like normal because like after the injuries, it's like expected that you won't have that bit of pace. But I do believe that he still has the time to recover. Just we have to see like if he recovers in time for the World Cup, and it's in our favor that he doesn't go to the World Cup. That way he trains, has more time to basically work on his game.
Yeah, and of course, you know, well, while I agree with that, I also have to say, as a player, and you know, I can understand where he's coming from. I mean, who does if I mean, it is for me, and football is one of the best things in my life, and for him, of course, it is. So, not being able to play as much as he wants, it's tough. Which is why I understand his desire to be playing now to get ready for the World Cup, and he'll definitely go. Unless he's injured, God forbid, he'll be in that team because if you look at they have some good wingers and but they don't really have finishers. You get me? So he'll definitely have a spot, and he has the quality for it. It just I think he needs more time. He needs to play more games. He needs to be getting more minutes under his belt, getting his confidence back. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of scoring once or twice. Um, Especially when you're a forward, if you're having a slump or you're not scoring or you come back from injury and you haven't been doing your thing lately, all you need is one goal to get going. Once you
Yeah,
get that, you break the ice,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what's happening to Barca right now.
Just the problem is, looking at the Barcelona attack, what does Xavi do with that Barcelona attack? Because if it's not Lewandowski, I don't think anyone else is scoring unless it's Ansu Fati. I feel Ansu Fati is the only player who has that
But
like scoring instinct.
this is where I agree and disagree with you. I think anyone um, in that attack can score.
No, of
It's
course,
just a
anyone can
matter.
score. Just I don't think anyone like Ansu Fati can score the numbers that, for example, Lewandowski does.
No, of course. I mean, we forget Lewandowski is um, one of the best strikers in the world, and for a few seasons he was the best striker. So what can I say? It's hard to compare him to anyone in the team, but still, I think what Xavi needs to do is he needs to keep alternating. I think he needs to play of who the team is. If you're gonna be playing a team that's playing very compact, playing very like
Like a low block, you mean?
low block, parking the bus type, you're gonna need someone like Dembele because you're gonna need someone who keeps spamming crosses, who keeps making the team uncomfortable with runs. Like
See, see,
in
see.
in those games, what's up?
No, no, because I was
Yeah, in
gonna say.
those
Go, bro.
no. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. You're gonna say
Okay.
what?
No. I was gonna say is yeah. Even though in low block teams, Dembele is good for crossing. I feel like that is more of like a tactical match, and that would suit Ansu Fati more rather than Dembele, um, because looking at the structure, Lewandowski would be like holding the center backs, but then there were also like we need another goal threat because we're like we're not like very good in the air, and so having Ansu Fati as that second striker allows Lewandowski to have more space, and this is why I see because Ansu Fati reads the game I believe better than Bele. And
Oh,
this
for
is why,
sure.
like, if we play in those type of low block games, I believe instead of Dembele, it should be Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati. For example, we saw against Villarreal. I believe we can see that performance.
I
But
mean,
finish your thought.
no, I just think that. I get where you're coming from, but I feel like against low block teams, I mean, it depends on the type of low block. Low block isn't the same for everyone. Inter playing
Exactly.
low block is not the same as a team like Burnley, So um, it just depends on how a team is playing. But I think for most low block teams or for most heavily defensive teams, Dembele alongside Lewa and Fati is a good combination because, like you said, um, the latter two have good game knowledge, good IQ, and finishing. And all Dembele really needs to do, and this is the thing, Dembele is kind of a one-trick pony because we cannot we know what he's gonna do, right? He's just gonna get the ball out wide, gonna take on a man or two, do a couple fakes, and either go for a cross or shoot,
Hmm.
and it's usually a cross. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that if it's working, and I feel like against teams that are more offensive and try to control the game a bit more, and Sufati become I mean not Sufati, Dembele becomes a liability because he's someone that's prone to losing the ball.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
just the type of player he is. He's someone who likes dribbling. He likes getting by players. He's a winger. I understand. But if you're gonna play against a team like that, a team that likes getting ball control, they're gonna kill you because if you lose that ball, now I can't think of any other team in the world aside from Man City that can out ball possess Barcelona. And even then, I think we can get it. But you just have to think about it. Dembele is someone that loses the ball. If we lose the ball and we're giving it away like that, we're gonna get less of it and less opportunities are created. Now, that's beside the point. I think at the end of the day, it's really a matter of who's hot and who's not playing that well. I think Xavi needs to keep playing all of his wingers, all of his forwards, just switching it around, giving everyone minutes, and not just for the sake of giving minutes, but also to see who's fitting best at the moment. Because we've seen it
Yeah.
in the past that Dembele has had great form and then completely disappoints us in an important game, and vice versa with other players.
I agree, and then we have to see how the World Cup affects each and every player. We have to see which players are coming into form, which players are injured. Like we have to see how each player is coming back from the international break. Um, but there were two injury scares that happened. Looking at today's game, Jules Koundé, he went down for a little bit, and apparently it's nothing serious. It was just like a muscle overload. He should be fine. But it looks like Eric Garcia might be a little bit more serious. Tests are going to be done tomorrow when they go back to Barcelona. But when if Gerard Piqué is our only fit center back, like what can Xavi do? These are like massive blows.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we've mentioned before, but people still forget about. Xavi isn't single-handedly like messing up with the tactics. Like, sure, he has moments where I think, I'm obviously not a coach, but based on my game knowledge, which again isn't as much as his, he makes decisions that I don't think are the best, right? But ultimately, the reason we played the way we played this season is like we said many times, is a mixture of things. I think it relies more on outside factors than just, hey, it's the coach, because
Mhm.
it's always a little more complicated than that, right? That's why I'm very against teams sacking managers in less than 2 3 seasons, especially if they're not doing like relegation level bad.
Yeah. No,
And
I
that happens, and it happens a lot with big teams that are used to winning, they're used to being up there, and it happens with small teams too that can't seem to really go where they need to go, such as Norwich. What's the other team? Maybe Bournemouth, but I'm just thinking of, Newcastle, switching it up. So at the end of the day, I'm very pro backing Xavi, and like we
yeah.
said, a lot of the underperformances we've had are also, yes, I agree, we haven't played our best, and there's been a lot of individual mistakes, but it's also a matter of us having a lot of missing players.
No, yeah, definitely. But these injuries hurt the team, and it just basically shows that Xavi hasn't had his best 11 fit for a continuous run of games, to see what works and see what doesn't. He's basically fixing and changing as players get injured, and under working on that circumstance, I think he's doing the best he can. And we have to remember, we have only drawn one game and lost one game. We have won every other game, and we match Pep Guardiola's number in the 2008 2009 season. This is one of our best league starts ever. So Xavi is doing like a very good job, but we have to have patience for him just because like, he's not working under the optimal circumstances.
Right, and
Um,
it's that's what happens. So Unfortunately, the good things go unnoticed and the bad things are emphasized, and that just happens a lot with anything.
Mhm.
And we see this with Xavi. They talk about the bad, but they don't want to talk about the good. Like I think he's been great in the league. This is a very tough league, one of the best ones in the world, and the fact that you're giving the competition the games that you're giving them, I think is a sign of a good manager. I mean, I honestly think the team like the underperformances lie mainly with the players because players are supposed to be held accountable, and here or there a few mistakes from Xavi, but I can't think you're gonna just say, hey, it's Xavi's fault, 'cause it's not.
Mhm.
That makes no sense.
Mhm.
But
Before you know, continue to finish.
it's just that like I think I think overall today was a decent game at most. Lewandowski again, not even decent, just mediocre. Lewandowski at the end of the game saved us with a good finish, great ball from Rafinha. And yeah, we just gotta keep winning little games like this. They build our confidence. Keep starting players like Ansu Fati, Lewa, obviously, and keep giving them better chances. But honestly, bench one or the other. Play Rafinha, play Dembele, and so on and so forth. And also like to give players like Fati and Ferran time because they're still getting into things. It's different scenarios, but you still gotta give both time.
Uh-huh. But before we round off, who was your man of the match on today's game?
Oh, it has to be Lewa.
It has to be Loa. I agree. I also think Pedri played a very good game. He made some
Yeah, he
run.
did.
He gave some good passes. I thought Pedri had a fantastic game. I thought
The
Jules.
Young was good too.
I thought I thought De Jong was good. I thought Jules Koundé was solid. He was an amazing player in the back. Balde also gave, as well as Uribe, gave solid performances. But I have to give it to Lewandowski for getting the winner. Um,
Yeah, and it's that's what matters. Our defense was also sloppy today. We allowed a goal, but it was discounted because of VAR. But still,
yeah, that's
something to think about. Some food for thought.
mhm. But guys, that was it for today's episode. These were our reactions to the Valencia game. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. And remember, I posted a link on Twitter. If any of you guys want to join our podcast and would like to add to the conversation, always go on Twitter at Kool Aid Podcast 10. Follow us there and click the link, and that way you can join. But guys, as always, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you guys all on the next episode.